We spend all this time salivating over the season. Sometimes, if you haven't learned your lesson, you go hard betting on week 1. And then we get ready to get into week 3 of the season going, what the hell were we talking about for a month leading into the season? Because everything we thought was the case was wrong. So I always tread a little lightly. And I mean, I try not to make these so definitive takes. Things can change very, very quickly, or maybe they have and we just haven't seen it yet.
The Lock Shop with Nielson and Hustler. Weekday mornings at 11, only on EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Catch up with friends of EST, Andrew, Mike, and Kayla as they get you in the huddle with the Edmonton Elks on the Turf District. Thursday nights at 8, EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Friend of EST, Eric Thomas, takes you around the track all the way to the checkered flag on Raceline Radio. Tuesday nights at 8 and Saturday morning at 9. Only on EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Join friend of EST, Guy Flaming, for The Pipeline Show, Monday nights at 8 and Saturday at noon, as he has you covered with CHL, CJHL, USHL, NAHL, NCAA, and U Sports, plus the World Juniors, Frozen Four, and NHL Draft on EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Wake up with the Nielson Show with Dustin Nielson and Lieutenant Eric. Weekday mornings 6 to 9 on EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Get to know the winners, props, plays, parlays, and more with Nielson and Hustler. Weekday mornings at 11 on The Lock Shop. Only on EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Tom Gazzola and Sean Bell take you on a hot lap around the NHL with Hello Hockey, Saturday mornings at 10, only on Edmonton Sports Talk. Join Murray McCourt and Curtis Stock for tips and tales from courses around Edmonton and area with the VIP Golf Show, presented by the Tailor Made Performance Center at the Ranch, Sundays at 8:30, only on EdmontonSportsTalk.com. The Elks Call is the newest Edmonton Elks podcast located in Edmonton, discussing everything Elks. Join friends of EST, Scout and Catherine, Friday nights at 8 on EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Don't feel like working? Join the Hangout. You never know what you might hear. Weekday mornings 9 to 11 on EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
It's time for another episode of The Oil Stream with Dustin Nielson and Tom Gazzola, presented by Popeye's Louisiana Kitchen.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of The Oil Stream. Dusty and Tommy Gazzola with you, and I will start this episode by saying this, and if you were watching on YouTube, you won't be able to know this, and if you're listening online, you can text us, of course, 780-218-9999, but Tommy Gazzola, I'll just rip this Band-Aid off right now, buddy. You smell terrific.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, you smell really good right now.
Oh,
What are you wearing? Is it Chanel? Like, what is this?
Chanel pour
What?
No.
It's awesome. You smell great. Maddie, you smell this guy right now? Go over and smell him.
Take a whiff,
This
Matthew.
guy smells unreal.
Smell.
Eric, come
thank
smell
you.
this guy.
Oh, there he is. Good day, sir. Oh,
Are you kidding me with this smell? God, but you got to bring some of that for all of us.
I can.
Yeah, for the meeting. Did you bring some for the meeting?
Big meeting today. I can bring some for everybody here. You
Dude.
guys, I love you like brothers, as we know. Thank you. That's like a 97% confidence boost right there.
It should be, dude. You smell awesome. I love it.
I just got here from the rink. I'm sorry I came in hot.
No, it's all good, buddy.
But things were running a little bit behind at the rink, and we're ready to go. You know what it's starting to feel like, Dusty, honestly? Like
regular season almost?
Go time. Yeah.
Really?
It has that air to it right now, and still kind of casual the way preseason generally is, but now we're starting to get that taste of, okay, no more messing around. Cut the fat, whatever metaphor you want to use, but we do have that air to it.
What'd you just say? A cup of what?
Cut the fat.
Cut the fat. I thought you said a cup of fat. I was like, that's a weird saying.
I do not have a cup of fat.
I've never heard that saying before.
Yeah, no, that's
wild.
definitely not what I cut the fat. C-U-T the fat. But we're going. I mean, and especially around town, and it's autumn. The leaves are falling. They've turned color. It's hockey season and late football season too.
VR Montenegro. I can smell him through my phone. And Colton says, what type of Axe body spray? Tell us, Tommy. Tell us.
Yes, Colton, no more Axe body spray. I think I gave up on that when I turned 19.
Yeah, sure. I don't use it either. Look, this is a perfect example. Axe body spray guy, something else guy.
Listen, my mom, she's back in town. Eva G, good to have her back. She was in Europe for the last couple of months as you crack a pack.
Yeah, well, they're just sitting here. I was like,
I don't know the name of it. It's like some ocean mist, something.
It smells like ocean mist.
She got it at the body shop. But I do have what's funny
nice.
is I do have a Chanel cologne that my mom did buy me.
Really?
Yeah, she's great. Eva G, she's sassy. She's a Spitfire, and she's the one that keeps everything on the level. So thank you. I really appreciate it. That's very nice of you.
Of course, you can text us 780-218-9999, and you can hit us up in the nasty chat today as well. Tommy looking like he's ready to go through the monthly projections at the meeting. Like when we do when we do our meeting today, this now bi-weekly meeting is going to become a big deal every time we do it. I do, like, with you looking like that, you have to step up with some sort of presentation.
I've got something for us.
Okay, good.
It's been
good. I like that.
It's been a month now. Like, we're at a month almost where we've been on the air, and lots has happened. It's been really cool. Like, we've learned a lot, I think. It's nice to see that those that listened to us at 1260 have come over and they get what we're doing, but it's neat to see the people that are understanding what we've created finally, because they can literally see it.
Yeah, they get it, right?
Or they can listen to it, obviously. Very clear, too. Nice.
Yeah.
It sounds good.
It's static-free since 23.
Yeah, exactly. And but, like, we have some work to do, and we're ironing out glitches and stuff, and I do have a presentation. It's a good one. I think it's a good one.
I do have a presentation. It's a good one.
one.
That's good. Yeah. Look, let's just get right to the hard-hitting questions here. Let's save this one. No, let's hit it. We're going to get to what's happening with the roster tonight and everything that happened to the rink today. But you can text us anytime, 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. I do ask this. This would be a fun little program. For every text you send us, text one of your friends the link to EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
That's cool.
That's a neat idea, right?
That's a good idea.
One for us, one for them. I think that would be great. Guys, question: Matthias Janmark at $1 million per year on a cap hit, or Adam Ernie at league minimum?
Matthias Janmark.
This is Janmark guy you're asking.
I know, like Eric, when Janmark scored that empty netter, Eric tweeted me, and I had to give it the head nod gif. But Janmark's part of the fabric of the team. Ernie's trying to find his groove or earn a spot or find a job at the NHL level. I think Janmark on his PK prowess, he's not, listen, we know he's not a sexy player. When you're watching him on the ice, you're not going, ooh, Matthias Janmark. Did you see Matthias Janmark?
Yeah.
No, that's not his game. What he is steady, solid, reliable, and they got him at a super good rate, and he'll get his 10 goals. He'll score multiple times against his former teams, and he'll kill a few penalties for you each game. So I like Adam Ernie's physicality. I think if the Oilers could keep 23 guys on the roster, now that Brandon
you think
Sutter's
he would
out
be
of the
on
picture,
that? Yeah, I could see that on a 23.
Him and Lavoie would be in the mix, absolutely.
Well,
and
Lavoie's in the mix right now, isn't he?
He is absolutely in the mix. But, we wouldn't be having this, ooh, is he going to make it? It would be like, hey, they went and got Adam Ernie. This is a guy that's predominantly been an NHLer for the last 5 years on two franchises. And he was mostly an NHLer last year, got sent down. I think DNB from The Athletic, Daniel Nugent-Bowman and I were looking it up. I think around November, in the winter months, he got sent down for a month or so last season. But he's an NHL player. It's a numbers game, unfortunately. And I think the cap crunch is killing the Oilers because I think we would be talking about Lavoie and Ernie as guys that are probably on the team to start the year.
Is Lavoie not probably on the team to start the year?
You know what? He's looked good. And he got that look. Remember we were saying we were going to see him with McDavid a little bit and even Draisaitl. Like, he was on the ice in Seattle with McDavid and Holloway for, 2 periods? I thought that was good. They didn't play a good team game in Seattle. They got a great goaltending performance, and then they made their limited shots count. But yeah, I think Lavoie's in the mix, and we're going to see he's going to get 2 more opportunities, or at least 1 more for sure, as we close out the preseason. But I think he's done everything that's been asked of him thus far, and why shouldn't he be in the mix? Because I think he is.
All right, at the rink today, what was going on down there today?
It was an interesting one. It was an optional morning skate. Stuart Skinner breaking in a new mask. He has new pads too, but the same design he's had all training camp.
Okay.
For the goalie gear geeks like me are out there. And then
what's this new mask look like? Did you get close up? I saw you tweeted out some pictures, but
I X'd it.
Yeah, you can say whatever you want, buddy.
It has an Oilers logo on one side. It's orange and white. Lots of orange.
It looks pretty bright.
I couldn't tell what was on the other side. Maybe zoom in on that pic I took. But it looked nice. I liked it. And I think Campbell was also breaking in a new mask in Seattle the other day.
Did your picture have both sides of the mask?
I got both sides because I noticed there was a difference. I also have a video that I'll send to YouTube, Trev, and he can post on our socials. But Ryan McLeod did skate. He took the morning skate. I don't think he's in the lineup tonight, but it was a good sign. I did not see Matthias Ekholm. I know people, when I tweeted out, or X, whatever the hell it's called now, what about Ekholm? I didn't see him. And I went out there for another peek to see if he was doing work, and I don't think he was out there. So that's what we know. We're going to see the 2 top lines play. Kane with McDavid and Brown. We're going to see Hyman and Nugent-Hopkins flanking Leon Draisaitl, and then lots of veterans in the lineup as well in the bottom 6 and on defense too.
The other side of his mask is interesting. Go to Tommy's Twitter right now, at Tom Gazzola. You're right. The one side's easy. It's got the Oilers logo on it. The other side, I don't know. It might just be the way I'm looking at it here.
I'm wondering if that's his Heritage Classic mask. Maybe
is that the Heritage Classic mask?
He had a new mask, and I just checked it out.
I'm just trying to look at it. It looks to me like, if you zoom in on it, I doubt this is what it is, but it almost looks like a fancy rat standing on its hind legs, almost like with its arms on its hips.
Let me look.
That's what I kind of see there.
Let me look. I got my photos here.
Yeah, go take a peek. Zoom in on that. Does it not look like a fancy rat? How would that tie into anything? And I don't know what's going on at the top either.
What is it?
Somebody go look at this. Go look at this, and then let us know.
Is that not an oil derrick?
That's an oil derrick?
I don't know.
How am I seeing fancy stand-up rat?
Fancy stand-up rat.
Do you not? Like right here. It looks like a rat with the head of the rat, and it looks like its legs are kind of like it's about ready to dance.
I thought that was just like an outline.
Oh, is that just the outline?
That's an oil derrick. Dusty, look.
Where's the oil derrick?
Right here.
See
look.
it, bud.
There's the.
I prefer
the
fancy rat
of the derrick, like, you know, the ones that you see like pumping.
Okay.
Right. That's an oil derrick, and that's oil coming all over the derrick down to the chin part of the mask. I think that's what it is.
Oh, okay.
You see it?
Yeah, no, I kind of see it now.
Yeah.
Well, the blue part looks like fancy dancing rat. Like I'm going to have a hard time
that's all
getting
you see
over
now.
this. Man, I think they need to separate that oil derrick with a little bit of a different color.
We didn't get in the room today, but when we do, maybe tomorrow, I'll ask
Just
Stuart
ask him,
if I can take a picture.
Is this an oil derrick, or is this a fancy dancing rat on
I'll
the
ask
side?
him to show it, and I'll take a picture.
Yeah, okay, that would
maybe
be
I'll get him to describe it. I'll do a video for
that would actually be pretty cool. Just hold it up and be like, hey, that'd be good,
I think
actually.
he'd be cool with that.
Yeah, I think that would be good. Anyway, if you've gone and taken a look at it, 780-218-9999. RCN says he thought it was a bear.
I think it's an oil derrick, honestly. And unless I apologize, I have an iPhone 11. I'm not a phone snob, so it doesn't take.
I also have an iPhone 11.
Yeah, it's fine.
Samesies.
I'm not a phone snob. Do you want to dip into our inbox? Because we got a text here from Mike. That
go ahead.
I want to throw your way and see what you think. 780-218-9999. Mike says, afternoon, guys. In my opinion, at this time in preseason, I am thinking the lines need to look like the following. McDavid between Brown and Kane. Draisaitl with Holloway and Hyman, Nugent-Hopkins with Fogle and Ryan, McLeod between Lavoie and Janmark. According to Mike, he's got Janmark on the right, Lavoie on the left. I don't know if that's deliberate or not, but
that'd be the other way around.
Off-wing. Yeah, I think it would be flipped. And then Nurse with Bouchard, Ekholm with Desharnais, Kulak with Ceci, Stuart Skinner behind Jack Campbell. And then Mike follows up with thinking McLeod will need to catch up. We'll need to work him in slowly. Desharnais, because of PK, first and second line would be built the same. Thoughts?
Well, we actually went over this something similar today on the Nielsen show this morning, because maybe it was the same guy's tweet. Maybe Mike is the guy who had it on Twitter last night, and RCN had replied, and it kind of popped up on my feed. I always get that damn Twitter takes you to the For You instead of the following, right?
I hate that.
But I get sucked in on it. I'm liking all that stuff, and I'm like, wait, these aren't everybody I follow. I go back over to the following, and then it kind of limits the list a little bit.
I don't like that.
But I guess I was suggesting this morning Nuge with Fogle and Lavoie, and then McLeod with Janmark and Ryan. This guy said Nuge between Fogle and Ryan. And then McLeod with Lavoie and Janmark, basically, right?
Yeah, Mike sent it in earlier. It was, Nugent-Hopkins with Fogle and Ryan, McLeod with Lavoie and Janmark. That's
not going to happen, all right?
I don't think so. I like having Nugent-Hopkins as a third-line center.
It could work. So one of the questions that came in during 3 Questions Too Many today is Smash It Nielsen Show. Check it out every morning from 6 to 9. And if you're listening to the Oil Stream podcast, subscribe to the Nielsen Show podcast as well. We would appreciate that. The question came today is why? What holds them back from going McDavid, Draisaitl, Nuge? And the answers were kind of a lot of things. I mean, it was Nuge as a face-off man, not necessarily ideal.
Not a great one.
Nuge driving his own line. Can he do that in that spot on a third line against third line competition? He definitely should be able to. I kind of brought up, the lack of winger depth over the last few years, that both in having the guys to play in the top 6 and having the guys to flank the Nuge as well. So there was that element of it. So, I mean, what do you think is the driving reason behind having Nuge on the wing? Oh, another option I said was you want to give McLeod minutes and establish him as a third line center. So there's a lot of things standing in the way of that. But when you actually look at what that could look like, and somebody pointed out today on the Nasty Chat, they said, listen, man, Stanley Cup champion teams roll 4 lines. Yeah. Now, not roll 4 lines, but they play all 4 lines.
We saw that in the playoffs.
Right? You're not going to roll. You're not going to roll a McLeod Lavoie line as much as you're going to roll out McDavid's line. But you need 4 lines that you can confidently play at least 11, 12 minutes a night for these lines, right? So I look at that and I go, wow, I do like it. But then at the same time, you sit back and you go, well, why doesn't it happen? And you can check off these boxes of why it hasn't happened up until this point on a regular basis, right?
That's fair. Yeah, I think, too, like looking at Mike's setup here is hypothetical potential lines, what he thinks should happen. If Holloway continues to play the way he's playing this preseason into the regular season, I think this scenario where you have the quote-unquote spine becomes more realistic. And Nugent-Hopkins is going to get his minutes on the PK and on the power play, and then you can have 3, solid lines, and then hopefully put together an effective 4th line that can give you a decent 9 to 11 minutes a night with veteran players. So maybe it hinges on what Holloway is capable of doing, carrying his good play into the regular season. We know he wasn't able to do it last year. He had a great preseason, and then he made some gaffes and had some rookie lessons that he had to learn. But what if he's ready? What if everything he's showing us does roll into the regular season next week? And I think that this scenario that Mike has pointed out with McDavid, Draisaitl, Nugent-Hopkins all centering their own lines becomes more realistic. I think we are going to see it too this year, just subjective.
It usually happens once in a while, right?
And Nugent-Hopkins, again, I think there's some people that think, I was talking to Schauger the other day, and he's like, I think Nugent-Hopkins could repeat as a 100-point guy this year. And I'm like, I think he falls to 80 points. Falls to 80 points.
Yeah, which would still be awesome.
I think that's great. So I don't mind this. I could see it. We'll see what happens with Lavoie. They're not dicking around Janmark like they did last year.
Yeah.
That's not going to happen. They like him. He's got his spot on the team. They're not waving him and putting him down in Bakersfield or anything like that. So what Mike laid out here has potential. And it's interesting on the back end, Broberg, We do know that they will be going 11-7 at times. The intent is to play more 12-6, but if you only have 12 healthy forwards, someone gets banged up, I think we're going to see some 11-7 pretty quickly, unfortunately.
All right, Tommy, let's keep rolling here.
Sure.
As far as the lineup goes tonight, you said optional skate.
Yeah.
So you're not really sure exactly what's going to go. We do see the list of guys that would be available to them tonight, and that list includes Pickard and Skinner, and then Bouchard, Ceci, Gleason, Nurse, Desharnais, Kemp, Dineen, Broberg, and up front, pretty much the lineup: Janmark, Hyman, Peterson, Ernie, Malone, Brown, Draisaitl, Fogle, Holloway, Lavoie, Kane, Nuge, and McDavid. Calgary not bringing a strong group with them this time. I mean, the Edmonton Oilers should crush them in this game. I'm going to go see what the preseason odds over at Coolbet here in just a second. But what's, I mean, do you have any lean on what we'll see tonight? Will they have, because the bodies are here now, is McDavid and Draisaitl going to be together tonight?
I think what we're going to see is McDavid with Brown and Kane, and then I think we're going to see Nugent Hopkins and Hyman with Draisaitl. I think they've been skating like this for the majority of the practice sessions and the groups in those lines. And then I think, in Seattle we saw like McDavid and Draisaitl start together for the first period, and then they kind of switched it up and all of that. That's what I think we're going to see. On defense, it's interesting. Nurse and Bouchard have been a thing, and this is close to like the regular season lineup. And I know like Dineen's still in the mix. Phil Kemp got some praise from Jay Woodcroft the other day. So
really?
You're like, oh, Phil Kemp.
It's American League praise, though, right?
Yeah,
like that's continues to develop.
And I know that Gleason, who we'll see tonight, has been very good. I know people. I was seeing some tweets watching the Seattle game, talking about Gleason having to take a spot from, or has been better than Broberg and Desharnais and should start the year on the team. I don't think he will. I was having conversations that night with, texting people from the team and be like, hey, like, it's been nice to see Gleason. This is a guy who's played NHL games with the Dallas Stars organization. But, I was reminded that, hey, listen, it's Broberg and Desharnais. We're going to see that rotation. But I do think it's fair to say, and I bounced it off this individual, I said, has Gleason become the first call-up on defense?
He has to be.
And the answer was, looks like it.
Yeah,
and that's
I would think so.
Yeah.
I mean, I also think it's a fair statement that, I don't know if we talked about this in Two Guys yesterday on the Nielsen show, whatever. It all merges together here at Edmonton Sports Talk because we're a great team and family.
Boom.
He has been better than Desharnais and Broberg
Absolutely.
in the preseason. Like that's undeniable. Yeah. It just this is how it works. I mean, he's a guy who's 25. Now, with that being said, Desharnais at 25 wasn't in the National Hockey League either on a regular basis, right? So, but I think he's shown a lot of positives so far for him.
And we're not there's been a lot of talk about Broberg, and we're not pushing him out or anything like that. Like, I'll reiterate, I'd like to see him play with Matthias Ekholm and see what kind of impact and confidence he can build and have. But, we were talking about him on the post game, Cass and I were, and I was like, he made a great play the other night on the second Bourgault goal, which was excellent, and Bourgault had a great camp. Good to see that progress as well. But there were still times where I'm just like, what's going on with Broberg? And, I think if he did have an opportunity with Ekholm, his game grows and expands, and he gets that confidence, and maybe we see that growth the way we saw with Bouchard last year when Ekholm got here. And I think that's completely possible. But, like, to this point, I don't think he's been great. I don't think he's been bad. He's made some nice plays. He's made some bad plays. He's been on the ice a lot. They're trying to get him into all kinds of scenarios, which is good for a young guy. But I haven't been like, wow, Broberg, except for a couple of plays. Like, again,
the backhand pass to Bourgault was great, yeah.
And then setting up Lavoie for the goal the other night, or the last week was
that one.
Really
it wasn't
nice.
like a crazy great play, but it was
He
the
took
smart.
the ice.
It was the smart play to make at the time, right? Like, it's nothing that's going to like blow your mind, but it was executed very well.
Yes, and Bruce McCurdy, our buddy, pointed out somebody through his analytics, Broberg's analytics from that game in Calgary, I believe it was, at me, just I think in response to the conversation we were having on the post game, and Bruce backed up, said, he looked good. He had one bad play. I maybe I want to see more out of him, personally, and I think a lot of people feel that way. But I'm not slighting him, and nor should we. I know he hasn't played a ton of NHL games. It's going to take time, but it's it's interesting. It's a talking point. Nobody's rushing this guy out of town or anything like that. We need to cool the jets on that narrative.
The preseason odds for this game tonight between Calgary and Edmonton have not yet been posted. I would assume they'll probably be posted mid-afternoon. If you want to bet that game tonight, I don't care. I don't need to see the number. I would get on the Oilers -1.5 tonight. Oilers dressed in a pretty nice lineup. Yeah. Calgary bringing a bunch of guys who aren't going to be around. So Oilers -1.5. It's probably going to settle in around like -200 or something like that. But you can find that over at CoolBet. You can also find this at CoolBet. Jack Campbell as the starting goalie for the first Oilers regular season game. That's still sitting at +180.
Open competition.
Yes.
Officially.
Was that Woodcroft yesterday said that, right?
Yeah, I was like, oh.
You know what?
Schauger did some good work there. He's like, he told me prior to the Avail, he's like, I've got something on the goaltending. Watch this, and it worked. And I was like, "You
what a
son of a gun.
What a sly dog."
He is a sly dog. They don't call him the sheriff for nothing.
And they do. I'm gonna bet on this right now. I'm sprinkling.
You're literally betting right now.
I just bet it.
Wow.
I sprinkled Campbell at +180 to start the first game of the year. If he comes out and has another really nice preseason start,
yeah,
I think you do it as almost a sign. I can just tell Skinner, hey man, like let's get Jack going early here.
But that makes tonight important for Stuart Skinner.
Yeah, it does.
All of a sudden. Now he has to go and have a good game because he wants to start opening night. Obviously, Campbell does too. Skinner was the guy for the team last season. He took the reins from Campbell. Open competition. If Skinner has a tough night, if a couple of stinkers go by him that are on him, I think we're talking about Jack Campbell getting the nod on Wednesday in Vancouver. But if Skinner plays well tonight, it's likely that Campbell starts on Friday in the closer to the exhibition season. If Skinner has a good one tonight and then Campbell continues his good play, I think still we're seeing Stuart Skinner on Wednesday against the Canucks. And then here's the other thing. Shoggy and I got into it a little bit at the practice yesterday where Speck came and laid out the scenario.
I love hearing down at the ice drama. I really do.
But it was like a good debate. So Speck's like, could you see Skinner? How could you see Skinner starting with the way Campbell's played? I'm like, well, listen, like we know the other guy's going to start the Saturday game, and Rashog's like, what do you mean we know he's going to the other?
They're both going to get a start.
Yeah, exactly. And he's like, you win that first game with whoever's in net. You're starting. Why wouldn't you start him that Saturday game? I'm like, they both need to get
because
going.
You got a 1A and a 1B.
Yeah, exactly. And they've made that abundantly clear. He's like, I'm not giving the net to the other guy if the first guy plays good. And I'm like, Schauger, like, first of all, tap the brakes because Speck asked what I thought. I'm just giving what I think could happen. And he was getting fired up and offended. He's like, no, if Campbell goes in and he starts that game and he plays well Wednesday and they win, I'm putting him back in on Saturday. And I was like, who hurt you, man?
I love this city.
Yeah.
Because there's a debate over who starts game 2. And game
thing.
1 hasn't even happened. I just bet on the underdog to start game 1.
Yeah.
And I honestly, I think you should go. I think from a value perspective, you should go to CoolBet right now and sprinkle a little. I'm not saying put a lot on it. Sprinkle a little bit on Jack Campbell
Salt
plus
Bay?
1. I think I just bet $8 on it.
Salt Bay sprinkle?
Salt Bay sprinkle.
Very nice.
Salt. I can't do it. I don't know how that Salt Bay guy. Is it pretty good?
He does it like that.
I'm working on it.
Pretty sure.
Let's move that line. CoolBet's going to be like, stop it, Edmonton. Stop betting on who starts. Like if you look at, there's no other lines right now for other Canadian markets where goalies who's going to start game 1, but we got it in Edmonton.
D-Gens, as you call it. Anyway.
Yeah.
It was funny that we had this conversation. We're at game -2.
Okay, so let's do this. This. So Campbell starts game 1, plays well, wins it. Starts game 2, plays well, wins it. You're not going to start him. You're going to start him 3 games in a row. You're just going to have Skinner sit on the bench for a week.
If you're Rashog, yes.
Yeah, the guy who saved your season last year.
I think
Shoggy, we love you, but you're nuts.
You're nuts.
We'll talk about this actually on Monday with the Got Your Back Monday Morning Mandate. Check out all the Got Your Back podcast stuff that he's got going on over with him and Struddy and Rob Brown. As always, parts of the Oil Stream brought to you by our great partners at Popeyes Sweet and Spicy Wings on now. This rolls until October 15th. Spicy ghost pepper seasoning, tossed in a sweet chili sauce. We will be eating these at some point over the next 7 to 10 days here on the Oil Stream. 6-piece, 12-piece. Absolutely delicious stuff.
Are we having them today for our meeting?
No, I didn't have time. We had somebody pop by and I chatted with them for like an hour, so I didn't have any time to get out. So I didn't have a chance. But we did put it on the agenda. We're going to put it on the agenda. Should we have future wings at meetings. Right? So there's lots of stuff to...
I'm glad this is on the agenda, but not actually happening.
Yeah, so, well, somebody pointed out today on the Nielson show that one of the things that you have to have on the agenda is like stuff where you just go, you know what? We'll just we'll table it and we'll push it forward and we'll circle back around to it. You basically got to have a couple things to circle back around to, right? So
is Owanek taking minutes today?
Well, it's got to be a YouTube.
I still don't understand minutes taking.
Well, you just keep track of everything that happened at the meeting.
I know.
But you needed to be in a 4-H club growing up. You learn all that stuff.
Is that where you hit the cow with the stick?
Yes. Yeah. Well, you rub its belly. You don't hit it. You rub its belly.
Little tap.
You hold up its head. You rub its belly, and then the judge comes along, rubs its waist, leaves. You pull out your comb the hair back into place, put it back in, and start rubbing the belly again. Just rubbing the belly.
Really quickly. Yeah. I was in Lloydminster. I did news there for 2 years. That's where I got cut my teeth broadcasting. And I had to do some agricultural stories, right? First time I ever went to a farm was in Saskatchewan. I called potash for an entire 3-minute story.
I did that by accident one time too.
Yeah, I got in big trouble from our news director. God bless Stacey Comer. She's doing great work out in Lloyd still to this day. And so I went to the Ag Society 4-H competition.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the hell is 4-H? I'm talking
oh my God, this guy.
I'm talking to our camera guy who'd been in Lloyd for 40 years. And he's like, what do you mean? You don't know what 4-H is? He's like, just watch. I watched a 6-year-old kid with this
huge
1,000-pound cow. And she's got the little stick and she taps it on the leg.
And it moves the foot.
Goes around.
It'll move the foot, buddy. Yeah.
And the crowd, it was packed in there, and the crowd just erupted. They're like,
4-H is the best.
whoa! And I looked at his name is Jim McCardle, legend in Lloydminster. Clausen knows him well, and I'm like, what the hell did I just watch? He's like, that was brilliant.
A show and sale.
I was
buddy.
I'm like that little girl tapped the cow 2 or 3 times and walked around it, and everyone just started roaring with applause. He's like, that was great. And
we were doing that when we were 8, 9 years old. It's really weird because I should be way tougher and than I am now being a farm guy.
Yeah.
I've lost it all. My parents are probably just really embarrassed.
They should be
with me, but
you've done other things very well.
I've done other things with my life.
The 4-H agricultural side, you've let them down completely.
Now, quickly, I know we're going to get sidetracked here,
Sorry.
but don't worry, we're not taking any promo commercials or anything. We're just rolling right through the hour here. So I was on a plane going to a CFL game, and I had my board out, and I was prepping, and the guy sitting next to me kind of was like, "Oh, well, you a coach?" I said, "No." I said, "I'm a play-by-play guy, a broadcaster and stuff." And we started talking, and he worked for one of the big egg companies, and we were talking, and somehow 4-H came up, and he's like one of the top 4 people in Canadian 4-H. He's on the committee, and so we talked, and I said, "Yeah, I was in 4-H, this probably won't, I was very good at public speaking. I was winning public speaking competitions when I was 7.
Shocking.
It's just talking has always come naturally to me. But so he goes, you should become a 4-H ambassador. And I what? So yeah, we've been exchanging emails, and I might become a 4-H ambassador in the country.
Are you going to be doing PSAs on 4-H?
Hi, I'm Dustin Nielson from EdmontonSportsTalk.com, your clear choice for Edmonton sports, static-free since 23. And I'm here to say that 4-H can help you advance in your life.
Clip it. YouTube Trev. Clip it.
Clip
Boom.
it. Anyways, so we got totally sidetracked on 4-H. But I don't even know. How did we get sidetracked on the 4-H? Was that from the Popeyes discussion?
Yes.
That seemed weird.
Talking about minutes and stuff.
Oh, yeah, the minutes from the meeting.
Coach Mike texts in, I like this. Tommy looks like an extra from Wolf of Wall Street. Tommy doesn't have time for minutes because he's a high-powered stockbroker. I love Wolf of Wall Street.
Wolf of Wall Street is a good movie. It's a good movie.
Coach Mike.
All right, if you are listening right now, hit us up, 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. Nasty Chat, obviously a great place for Oilers fans to be every single day at noon. 97 Octane Hockey says, Dusty, great promo. Great promo. This is what you do. You cut promos. As a public speaker, you cut promos. We used to have to do 5-6-minute speeches. And in order to impress the judges, a lot of other kids would read cards.
Yeah.
I just memorized the whole thing. Get up, no cards, bang it out. Basically finish my speech, walk over to the table, grab the trophy, and go back to my seat.
You son of a bitch.
I'm not even waiting. It's just boom, done.
I learned something new about you from time to time, and I never would have guessed it.
Yeah.
But that's brilliant.
Well, that's what we're going to do in the meeting today. We're going to say one new thing about us for the entire team.
Are you serious?
No,
I hate
that was
team
a
building.
that was a joke thing.
You know what? Why don't we just crack a beer and have a good time?
Yeah, well, we'll do that too.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see here. I want to get to this one. Let's get to this one from Randy. How come there's no debate on whether Fogle will play in Game 1? He's been brutal in the preseason. He's kind of grandfathered in, right? Like
feels like it. It's like, yeah. What are you getting out of Fogle this preseason? Well, not much. He's played in the games where the lineup's been thin too. Have you noticed? Outside, I think Wednesday or not Wednesday.
He's been what?
Game,
Say that again.
Playing in the games where the lineup's been thin, and
Yeah.
he's been part of. Oh, they have a thin lineup tonight. Fogle's in there. He's second line tonight. Grandfathered in is a good way to describe it. You know what you're getting out of Fogle. I know somebody's going to say $2.75 million. I agree with you.
That's true.
Yeah.
Like you could get a Fogle. You could get somebody to do what Fogle does at $1.5 million.
Yeah, exactly. Now, if I'm defending Fogle, taking his side, I would say this, and I always point back to the 17-18 season where they gave Pouliot away or they bought him out and they shipped out other veteran NHL players and they relied too heavily on young guys, and that cratered their 17-18, 18-19 seasons. Fogle's an NHL player. You're getting 10 and 10 from him, maybe 10 and 15, 10 goals, 15 assists, somewhere around there, 20 to 30 points. He'll play his 9 to 12 minutes. Doesn't generally hurt you, doesn't really move the needle a ton, but he is a legit NHL player. Sometimes he makes plays happen. He was the most effective last year in the stretch and in the postseason when he was creating chaos. Like, he didn't score a ton, but, like, he has the ability to score. He has a big body. He's got good wheels. Use it. And he did that in the late part of the season. So that's what he needs to do. Has he done it really?
Where do you think it's
really.
a hot, like, I never want to question somebody's hockey sense because they all are obviously phenomenal compared to bums like us. But how do you think he thinks the game? Like, is he a pretty basic player?
Yeah.
Is that kind of what Fogle is? Like, I don't know if he thinks the game at like such a high, like, because physically he moves well. He's a big guy.
Yeah.
He's just your prototypical 3rd/4th line guy. Never going to be anything else there, but like go out and do this, and he does it. He does it extremely well.
Yeah.
And teams that win have success.
Yeah.
But I just don't know if you should expect him much more. I think there's some limitations on.
Yeah,
it.
Listen, the guy obviously thinks the game brilliantly, but compared to his peers in the NHL, I think simplifying is best for him. Go to the net, create a screen, wrap the puck around if you get it down low. Use that big body. That's where he's the most effective. Does he have the vision that the top 6 guys have when they have the puck? Probably not, but he's smart enough to score simple goals. Like when he came over from Carolina, watching his highlights, I know he was playing with Stahl, but like he scored greasy goals. And it was Stahl doing most of the legwork, and he doesn't have a Stahl with him right now, but he's capable of getting pucks deep, hitting defensemen, lugging the puck out of a corner battle that he wins, getting to the front of the net. Like, that's what he needs to do. And it's simple. It's effective when he's doing it. And I know the price point isn't ideal. I'm totally on board with everyone who says that and makes that statement, but he is an NHL player.
All right, let's get to this message in the chat here today from Peter. Fellas, I know this is probably not the most likely scenario, but what do you think of Malone taking that 12th spot? In my opinion, he's been a better player than most of the bubble guys, plus he kills penalties.
I love it because I very much appreciate Brad Malone.
Well, he also makes a pretty interesting point. Like, it's not like Peterson and these guys have looked better than Malone.
Malone, you want to talk about guys who have limitations and made it abundantly clear in a one-on-one last week that I still have on my phone saved. Brad Malone, he knows what he's there for. He started the season with the Oilers last year. His wife gave him crap because he made the team out of camp, played 10 games last year, and she's yelling at him because the furniture was arriving at the house that they bought in Bakersfield. She's like, how the hell am I supposed to put all this together?
Can you please get sent down?
Yeah, you're in the NHL being selfish. Anyway, he's a great guy. Today he was doing extra work. He was out late, and I smacked the glass, and he looked over, and I was like, nice goal. And he's like, yeah. I like the idea of Brad Malone, but listen, there's no ambiguousness to Brad Malone and what he is and where he sits in the pecking order. Like the fact, I think it's Jay Woodcroft has him around. He would tell you he's competing for a spot.
Yeah.
He deserves an extra look. He play again, all that good stuff.
But are Peterson or Ernie better than him?
I have time for Ernie. Peterson, I like Brad Malone just because of the guy. I'm being completely biased.
Yeah. Well, that's good.
I want to make that abundantly clear. But like, I would have more time for Brad Malone over Lane Peterson, and that's trying to take off the Brad Malone colored glasses. I think he's a simple, straight lines NHLer. He's been around. He's a stopgap if you need him, but he is the captain of the Bakersfield Condors.
Yeah,
His
that's
job
who he is
to be the guy that helps the next wave of Oilers succeed and become those ripened players in the minors. Maybe he gets a look, but I don't think he's winning a spot. If he does, I would be absolutely surprised and pleasantly so. And I'm glad that who texted that I love that. Like Brad Malone he's just a good dude. He's going to be a guy that I think has a long career in management in hockey if he so chooses.
I was going to say that's kind of the role that he's playing. He's kind of probably learning that development game, right? Going to oversee an American League program somewhere.
He's just that guy. Like he's smart. He's an effective, clear speaker. He can get his message across. He doesn't pull any punches. And you know, him and I kind of talked. I'm like, I'm not saying you're Reg Dunlop, but you're helping these young guys learn and become. You're the elder statesman. He's like, yeah, I know. And he has the pedigree. Like his dad or his father-in-law is Kirk Muller, right? Like he's got, and his cousin is Ryan Malone. His dad was an NHL player. I believe he was drafted in the 80s or something like that. Like he's got that hockey in his blood at the NHL level. Like it's all around him, and he's just a great guy to have in the organization, and just a good dude.
He's not going to be on the team.
I don't think he's making.
Well, we'll get to who
I'd
is
like
going
to see him play this year. I really would.
Well, we'll get to that 12th forward spot here as it continues. But if you have any questions, 780-218-9999. Oil Stream Monday, Wednesday, Friday, right here on EdmontonSportsTalk.com, live from 12 to 1 every single day on our Edmonton Sports online radio station. Parts of the Oil Stream now brought to you by our partners over at One Putt Virtual Golf. We launched this on Monday. It's a brand new facility that features 6 TrackMan bays, the same technology that they're using on the PGA Tour. It's a perfect spot for group events, birthday parties, Christmas parties, bi-weekly staff meetings. You can maybe work that in.
I look forward to that.
That'll be a good meeting.
Staff meeting.
We'll definitely do that. Yeah, they're located at 6816 178th Avenue, north end of Edmonton. Also, check out their fall league. That actually starts on October 9th, so that starts early next week. Awesome. If you want to kind of get a consistent sort of swing going here in the fall, sign up for the fall league at One Putt Virtual Golf. They hear nothing but great things about these guys so far. And if you want to check out the website, it's super simple. www.putt. oneputt.ca is where you can find them. And, yeah, I mean, you can set yourself up where you could go play golf at One Putt and follow along in the Oilers game.
Yeah, you could.
You're like, that's not bad. That's not a bad setup.
I said it before, like One Putt just opened up, but like we did, Gord Shamahorn, good friend of ours, part owner of Cattail Crossing. They have 2 bays at Cattail's new refurbished clubhouse, which is great restaurant there. And so the Gazzola boys would have Sundays there. We would watch hockey and play like a round of golf on the sim. And
now you can do it at one of the 6 bays at
One
Putt Virtual Golf.
Yeah, like it's perfect. It's set up nice. You sit on the couch, you have a good time. Make a day of it. Have a day.
That does sound really nice, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah, that sounds good. Plan it, and then when you get there, make sure you're sending pictures to us so we can share it on social and continue to push more people to One Putt Virtual Golf. Once again, visit the website at www.oneputt.ca. So, who is the 12th forward? I mean, because I think everybody's assuming it'll just be Raphael Lavoie.
Sure.
Has he been the best one out of that group? Like the thing is, with that whole group of guys fighting for it, like nobody's gone out and taken it.
Yeah.
Lavoie might be the close to having done that. It's just a matter of how he fits in with the rest of that bottom 6.
It's yeah, like I like what Ernie being a dick at the end of the game in Vancouver. He scored a goal that they didn't play good in that game, by the way. We talked about that.
But they would be, that element could help the bottom 6 there.
Yeah, and I like that. I'm like, well, that's kind of what he needs to do, and that's what they're missing with Costin gone and Bjugstad. I know Bjugstad wasn't an a-hole on the ice, but like he's just a big body, and if things got physical, he would just use his extremely long limbs and push guys out of the way, and they miss that element. So Ernie has that, but the advantage that Lavoie has, and he hasn't shied away from the scrums or anything like that. Like Lavoie is a big dude too. He's 6'4", 6'5". Lavoie's under contract. Lavoie is their guy. And I think that will factor in.
Yeah.
I really do. And not to take away from Ernie, but he's here on a PTO, and dollars and cents, which matter a lot, as we know, especially with this team this year. That's the advantage that Lavoie has. And I think that would give him the inside track. And Brandon Sutter, knowing something was not right, and his body not responding the way he had hoped, takes him out of the equation. And we don't that part of the conversation's gone, but I think it's made it clear. And I think Lavoie has the inside track now. I really do. Let's see what he does to wrap up the week here. But
do you think that really matters, though?
That he has the inside track?
You know, like what he does the rest of the week.
Yeah, I do.
Like, you do?
Yeah. Why wouldn't it? This is now you want to see him playing against NHLers. Tonight we're not going to. There's some NHLers.
Tonight's tough, right?
But if we see him on Friday, and he's playing against, what is it? Seattle coming in here? I can't remember who's coming.
Yeah, I think it is.
I think it's Seattle.
You got a pregame show that night, right?
Yeah, we're doing pregame that night.
Well, we better figure out who it is.
It is Seattle. If Lavoie's playing in that game and the Kraken send like their team, and he has a good, solid night, responsibly defense, he doesn't have to score a goal or anything like that. If he does, great. But like if he's good, I think he wins the spot. It's his. If he plays like dog crap, and you're like, oh, he kind of got exposed, then maybe they're like, is he ready? We don't know. We might have to waive him. But I think the body of work he's put together in this training camp's been pretty good.
Do you want a question about what a Fogle extension would look like?
Yeah, I saw it. Please lay it on me, brother.
Well, what do you think a Fogle extension would look like? 3 years, $2 million?
I think that's very generous.
I don't think he's getting that.
No. I think whatever his next deal is, if it's here or somewhere else.
I'm not sure there is a Fogle extension, I guess is what I would say.
I don't. If it materializes, it's in the ones, maybe a high one, just because he's a
high 1, 2 years,
gets you 25 points ish.
Yeah,
and he's been around the league for a while, and he has some tools. That you're like, hey, looks like a good player. Sometimes he is, sometimes he's effective, but I think somewhere around. I don't think he's getting 3 years though.
No. That would be
that's
ridiculous. I don't think that's going to happen.
Test.
The Oil Stream, as always, brought to you in part by our great partners over at Boston Pizza. Watch for the next date for our live at Boston Pizza Oil Stream. You can swing on by. We'll have the speakers set up. It'll be great. You can slide on in, have a couple of bevies, maybe get yourself some Thai chicken bites. I love the Thai chicken bites. Thai chicken bites are my go-to if they don't have a chef on that knows how to make my smoked ham and chicken stromboli sandwich, right? So.
I haven't noticed.
What, you think I have too many Thai chicken bites when I'm there? I love the Thai chicken bites.
I know you love the Thai. You have them like every time we're there, and
they're delicious. That's why I have.
It's one of those things when
it's
you have them.
It's a great menu. There's a lot going on in the menu. You want to mix in a Boston Brute? We can mix in a Boston Brute. One of 2 original items still on the menu.
You learned that from Neil.
Yeah, well, we did. We learned that from Neil.
Hello, Neil.
Boston Brute and
pepperoni pizza. I don't know.
You were there.
Yeah, but I don't listen. I don't.
What's it called? Like the Boston Royal? The Royal.
The pizza?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, you were there. I can't believe you didn't remember that.
It didn't.
I thought you guessed it.
I did
not. I thought we were
guess it.
sitting there guessing. I thought you were the one who ended up guessing.
I'm the guy that goes for Pasta Tuesday, and I get like my own, make your own pasta.
Yeah, when I go for Pasta Tuesday, I get fettuccine Alfredo, baked with cheese, and meatballs.
Creamy Alfredo with either penne or tortellini with Italian sausage.
Oh, Italian sausage.
Salsiccia.
Oh, that's not bad. I like that. Anyway, when we have the date for our next on location at Boston Pizza, we will let you know, and you can come join us. And it's becoming a pretty good little night there. But now that we got the text line and stuff, you can come sit at the Boston Pizza, have a few bevies, and text us your questions while we bang out an Oil Stream live for everybody right there in house. It's a pretty good little setup at Boston Pizza. And, let Boston Pizza cook for you, man, and look after things for you.
Do a great job.
All right, let's get to a couple more questions.
See RCN's thing?
Go ahead, buddy. Lay it out.
Okay, RCN screen grab. I love how we can get photos in the text
line.
It
is good. So anyway, quick update on the text line. Can I? I was going to bring this up in the meeting, but
minutes.
For like you were in on Friday, and we had issues replying to some texts.
Yeah, did we hit our limit?
I don't know. I don't know if like the nasties shut it down or what happened.
It's impressive.
So it happened again mid-show yesterday, and then all day yesterday we couldn't reply to texts.
I noticed that too.
But it's back, baby.
Yeah,
we're back.
I replied to someone. Awanix on it.
So this is what happened. Actually, I took care of it.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I took care of it.
Oh.
So I emailed the company we're using with our text line, and I said, here's the deal. And it says, it sounds like your account was tagged by our automatic fraud prevention system by mistake.
So they think we're fraud.
I guess.
Yikes.
But luckily, this is an easy fix. I've now whitelisted your account, so it should be smooth sailing from here on out. So, yeah, we've been whitelisted. I don't even know what this means, but we're whitelisted. The text line is whitelisted, and we shouldn't have any more issues moving forward. And we always were getting all of your texts.
Yeah.
I think we just replied to so many that they're like, okay, what's this? Like,
I like
what's going
replying.
on? But that, you know what? That goes to show how we're connecting with our listeners because, when you text in, if you text in a text handle, we add you to our contacts. So then we text in the next time it comes in as, Surveyor Brett and Tube Socks and everybody, blah, 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 RCN. All the way down. But we've been replying to so many that they tagged us as a fraud because they probably thought it was some sort of automated reply.
Yeah.
But it's actually just us replying to you. So.
Yeah. Oh, cool. Okay, that's good.
Yeah, it's very good.
News.
We're whitelisted with the text company, and now we're good to go.
Fantastic. Okay, let's get to this one from RCN. RCN said, if I'm the Oilers, I start the year with the big three at center, ease McLeod in as a fourth-line center post-injury, keep Lavoie in the top 9, buy some time to see what Lavoie is to find a fourth-line center and to get McLeod up and running. And then, so that was RCN's
Yeah, we kind of hit on that, right?
We did. And then, but RCN added with the screen grab of his tweet, you do this, give it 10 games, at which point Lavoie has proven he's an NHLer or he isn't, and McLeod is up to speed. Then, capitalized, if Lavoie is an NHLer but not a fit in Edmonton, he's tradable, and if he's not an NHLer, he's waivable. If he's tradable, you get a fourth-line center who fits and bump McLeod up to 3C. So RCN's kind of describing a passive approach, like buying time from McLeod, giving Lavoie a look.
Because this team be in a spot where you buy time?
I think so. I think they're going to be
They got to have a good start, though, because the last thing you want is have to hammer McDavid and Draisaitl out there
like they did
for 24 minutes a night in January and February.
I think that even if they're not like cranking out their A game every night, I think they're still, after 10 games, they have 5 wins at least.
Well, I hope so.
Even if they're not playing well. And I think that's kind of, I feel
if this team opens 500 in the first 10 games, man.
No, like 5, 2, and 3. Like I think they're going to be better. I'm just saying hypothetically, they should. If they're not playing great and they're figuring things out, they still should have 5 wins in the first 10 games at least, and then maybe it's just a hypothetical. So I understand where RCN's coming at us with this strategy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, I get it. I don't mind that process. It's just
maybe
like
I think they're going to throw McLeod right into the mix when he's ready to go. Probably Friday. No Ekholm again at the morning skate. I didn't see him, so I like how
McLeod
you're cracking
probably Friday.
Packs.
We're just always cracking packs, buddy.
Buddy, like I haven't
do.
even said anything about this pile of
somebody
garbage.
in the nasty chat was like, "I bet you that pile of garbage is driving Tommy."
It is. Thank you. You are
yeah,
correct.
Eric and I are just going to keep piling it up.
Unbelievable. Slavkovsky, Fox, Zegras insert. There's Eric.
More packs. Oh, Eric's always got packs. We're just crushing these
Bergeron,
packs. These are leftover morning packs.
Matt Murray and Brad Marchand.
Give us a big hit.
What
That'd
do
be
you
a nice
got?
way to wrap up another day.
Are these actually
Sid the Kid
worth a lot? Or no?
Eric, what'd you say that Hockey Gems was or whatever it is? Ice Gems? You got Adam Fox? Yeah, it's selling online right now for like $80.
Seriously?
$80.
Because remember back in the day, like even though the McDonald's Tim Hortons cards were cool, they weren't worth anything.
Yeah, but buddy, that's because Crack Pack wasn't around yet. Crack Pack has taken this thing to another level. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins to wrap the episode.
Jordan Eberle, as Ralph Kruger used to say.
Hey, LT.
What do you get?
Symmetry Standouts. This is like the flashy hologram one. We got one. Symmetry Standouts. Here, take it. Yeah, this is Kyle Connor.
Oh.
I think we need it. All right, there we go. Look at that. Symmetry Standouts.
Look at that.
Beautiful. All right, that is going to do it for... Yeah.
Man.
He smells so great, right?
Oh,
He smells so great.
Okay.
Title of the episode for the podcast, Game Day versus Flames, Tommy smells great.
Thank you.
I think that's good.
You made my day.
All right, so yeah, that's going to do it for another full day of content. Well, full morning, a little bit of afternoon of content here at EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Nielson Show replay coming up on the live stream at www.edmontonsportstalk.com. So if you're looking to be entertained this afternoon, we've got you covered over there as well. Friday pregame show, Oil Stream, and you'll be able to find those pre and posts on the Oil Stream podcast feed too.
Correct. We'll put it into when we cut our shows up into podcast form. The Oil Stream pre and post will fall under the Oil Stream umbrella and channel. Also,
cool move. As we were talking about Boston Pizza, somebody texted us a photo of them having a beer at Boston Pizza. And I replied because our account's whitelisted now, so I replied. And I said, is this happening right now? And he said, but of course.
SBK.
So SBK is having a beer, watching or listening to the Oil Stream at Boston Pizza when the Oil Stream is brought to you in part by Boston Pizza.
Not going to lie to you, that beer looks tasty.
Online radio station advertising works.
It's the clear choice.
Yeah. Even if we didn't have to go to commercials in the last hour.
That was great. Works. That was a good conversation today.
This is the way.
Yeah.
Boston Pizza, Popeyes,
Cool Bet,
One Putt, and Cool Bet, bringing you the Oil Stream every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Tommy, you can get ready to get us out of here, buddy.
Like, share, subscribe, thumbs up, smash it. We're doing this algorithm thing.
Yeah, it's we only had 30 likes. Hey, before you wrap up here, hit the like button. Come on, you guys. There's like 140 of you watching. Come on.
There's like 100
hit the button.
Something live
hit the button right now. Come on.
Yeah,
Let's go.
Do it. Move the needle.
Yeah.
Pre and post game on Friday. We'll be back all day tomorrow into the early afternoon, and then we'll have another Oil Stream as well Friday. It should be good. Enjoy the game tonight. I believe it's on Oilers Plus again.
Yeah, somebody just asked, is there a way to watch the Oilers without Oilers Plus tonight? But I think it's an Oilers Plus game.
I think it's an Oilers Plus. Now,
what's that? Yeah, maybe the Flames are playing it for free.
Yes, that's the thing. I tweeted out last week. Thank you, Awanik. If the Flames are broadcasting it on their stream, on Flames TV, just go to there because it's Canada. It's open to Canadian residents only.
So there's options.
And then, like, the other day, I actually watched the Seattle game on the Kraken broadcast. You can find streams.
Yeah, I actually, you know what?
Don't click the
I had Stoff's back.
Did you?
Yeah, because I was watching it, and they went to a commercial, and his mic was hot.
Ooh, I heard about that.
Yeah, and I texted him, and I said, hey, dude, I said, your mics are hot. He goes, thanks, man. I said, I got your back, Stoff.
Stoff cut me up today pretty good.
What?
Yeah.
He texted me yesterday. He said, thanks for saying nice things.
It was funny what he did today. I'll give him credit. Right. Usually his jokes don't land, but today they were good.
We'd also like to thank Chad for moving Stoff to the evenings. I would kind of open the window here at noon.
How about that?
That's nice for us. That's good times. All right, that's going to do it for Tommy Gazzola. I'm Dustin Nielson. We'll be back breaking down that Oilers Flame game tomorrow morning, 6 o'clock on the Nielson Show. Tell your friends about EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Static free since 23. We will talk to you tomorrow.